Hello, I'm Larry Formato, and welcome to Connected. And as always, we got Mr. Willie Fats with us today. And Willie, it's just been a crazy summer for us, and now we're going to be going into the fall, and we're going to wrap up the Bonnie and Clyde, Bonnie Parker. And Clyde. And but before we do that, Willie, we want to remind everybody to do what?
Like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications, because you don't want to miss an episode.
Don't want to miss anything here, folks, because we always have something new, and we're always going to talk about something. Willie's going to come up with some surprises, and who knows whatever he's going to say, but
like the elbow drop.
Like the elbow drop, and the elbow drop, the like button.
Yep.
So Willie, we ended off with Bonnie Parker, Bonnie and Clyde, taking that rifle, that BAR rifle, and just shooting up that whole damn place over there, and saving, Clyde and Buck and all those guys from destruction.
Yep.
She saved them pretty much.
We learned she's a badass.
She's without a doubt a badass.
Yeah.
She's. We said it before, and we're going to say it again. I think she is, without a doubt, she was the most notorious female gangster, hands down, ever. She was a tough broad.
Yeah.
For a young broad, too.
Well, most of that gang was, because what about the guy that Buck had the hole in his head?
Buck got shot in the head.
And walked around for days, eating whatever, with a hole in his head.
Eating, bleeding, and talking.
Yeah.
And you could see his brain.
Ugh.
Crazy. They were invincible, this gang. So their final run, we're gonna wrap the show up here with talking about the end result here for Bonnie and Clyde. So Will, Clyde, his whole thing was to get even with Texas, the Texas prison system, and he didn't care about fame as far as robbing banks, none of that.
It was just about getting even.
It was all about getting even. And his big deal was to embarrass and hurt the Texas prison system as best as he could.
Yeah.
And he did that pretty good. He broke out. He arranged to break out a couple people from jail, a few people actually, and it was called the Eastham Breakout. The Eastham Breakout, folks. And he went to the jail there in Texas and broke out these prisoners. And in doing so, he shot and killed a couple of people. And Major Joe Crossan was killed, and he died a few days later in the hospital. And Will, so here's the thing. So Clyde got to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he showed Texas, hey, frick you, Texas.
Right.
I'm getting even with you guys. And he did it. And he embarrassed the crap out of the Texas State Department of Corrections, the prison system. And basically, that was the beginning of the demise for Clyde. And for Bonnie, for that matter.
Yeah.
And so the whole state was looking now at what Clyde did to that prison and during that breakout, and the people that got killed. So and basically Clyde made a mockery. I mean, he just made a mockery of it. So they couldn't take no more, and they decided we've got to do something. We got to get these people. So they hired an old Texas Ranger to go after Bonnie and Clyde. That's what they did. And this guy, he was a badass all by himself. And his name was Frank Hammer. And they talk about Clyde and Bonnie and all the murders. Don't wake up now, Will. I see you yawning there.
I'm not yawning.
You tired? You all right?
Listen to this guy.
You okay?
Is Frank Hammer the guy that used to come into Bonnie's restaurant?
No. That guy, whose name I will get for you in a minute,
Okay.
I told you, stop asking me questions I don't know the answers to off the top of my head.
Just checking.
The guy that used to go into Bonnie's restaurant was one of the people on the posse
Right.
that killed Bonnie.
Yeah.
And and we'll get to that in a minute. If you can wait, can you wait?
I can
You're
wait.
jumping ahead of me here.
No,
Are you sure? Because
yeah.
Willie. I mean, what the heck, man?
I love the story.
You're interrupting me already.
Already. You know how I'd be doing it.
Oh my God! Fuck! What am I gonna do with this guy? Seriously, what am I gonna? He asks me questions I'm not ready to answer.
What are we gonna do with you?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Frank Hammer killed 53 people.
53.
53.
As a lawman or just?
As a lawman.
Damn.
He killed 53 criminals as a lawman.
He didn't bring them back to prison.
And he wounded countless others, in the whole thing of it all. So, so he was credited for killing 53 people. And they think Clyde was bad, right? He got 9 cops. This guy got 53 people. Come on. What's up with that?
That's crazy. 53 people.
So,
That's a bad man.
So in Grapevine, Texas, Clyde and one of these other prisoners, Medvin, killed a highway patrolman, H.D. Murphy, and Brian Wheeler on Easter Sunday. They say that Bonnie was in the back seat of the car when this happened. I'm giving you a chance to talk.
I mean, God, all this killing.
Yeah. So it was dubbed the Grapevine Murders,
Right.
obviously. And
If these people wouldn't have been chasing them, do you think they would have still killed all these, do you think Clyde would have really been a killer if the government didn't send all these people after him? You think? Because here's the thing. He robbed how many countless banks?
a lot.
Okay. And we're not talking about all the people he killed in the bank because he didn't kill anybody in the bank.
Yeah.
So I would have just left them alone because it seemed like whatever you sent, he was sending them back in a body bag.
I think Clyde was more of a shoot first, talk questions later
Yeah.
kind of guy, but that didn't stop Bonnie from joining in
No.
on any of the killing either.
No, because she's on record for killing people.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
So some of the witnesses during these Grapevine killing spree claimed that Bonnie Parker got out of the car and went up to this guy Murphy and put another bullet, the fatal bullet, in the guy's head, and laughed as his head bounced off the ground. That was the account of one of the eyewitnesses that seen this. And so for the very, very first time, the public, the United States public, started to perceive Bonnie as a cold-blooded killer.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is, that's not what happened, folks. The newspaper said it happened that way, but later on, it came out that she got out of the car and went over to assist the guy. Now, that's not something she would normally do, but she did it. So she didn't go and put the fatal shot in the guy's head. But I'll tell you what it got her.
What did it get her?
It got her the first warrant for murder.
Yep.
So now they have a warrant for murder for her.
Right.
And
countless.
Dead or alive, and they wanted her dead.
Yep.
And they wanted Clyde dead. So the poor guy that got killed, he was getting married. And his wife...
That's gotta suck.
Folks, here's a fact. This is like... You can't make this stuff up. She wore her wedding dress to his funeral.
Oh my goodness.
You can't make that stuff up.
A wedding dress to a funeral.
She wore the dress she was going to wear to the wedding, to the funeral. It's very sad. So they put $1,000 reward on Clyde and Bonnie's head apiece, and the governor threw in an extra $500 for if they killed Bonnie dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
$500 if you just bring the body.
Just bring the body. We don't care about anything else. Just bring the body. We don't want her alive. We don't want her to go to the electric chair. We don't want any of that. We just want her dead.
And $500 was a lot of money back then.
Yeah. So, and any chance, because she was a woman back then, any chance she might have had to like get clemency or to
She wasn't getting
roll over and say something, that all went out the window with that killing.
Yep.
So it was a done deal at that point. So the hostility, continued on. So on May 23rd, at 9 o'clock in the morning, give or take a few minutes, they laid wait for Bonnie and Clyde. And and what they did is they had one of the guy's fathers, one of the Barrow gang. His father was waiting on the side of the road
in a vehicle,
in his truck,
mm-hmm.
so that when Clyde came barreling ass down the road, he would see the guy and move over into the slower lane and stop to see what was going on. Well, so that's exactly what happened. And they waited and they waited for Clyde to come. They knew he was coming, they just didn't know when. And in fact, they were about to give up.
Right.
Another fact. They were ready to pack up and go home, and just when they said, let's get out of here, let's go, they're not coming, they heard the car coming down the road, barreling ass down the road. So Clyde slows down.
Yeah. Clyde slowed down.
Do you know what happens?
Oh,
don't drag it out of me. Just
I'm pretty sure they all came out and they started open firing on that car.
The gunfire was so loud that the posse suffered temporary deafness. The posse couldn't hear anymore. That's how loud the gunfire was. And so they opened fire on that V8 Ford. It was a stolen car. And they first they emptied all their automatic rifles. And then when they were done with the automatic rifles,
they went to the big boys.
They went to the shotguns.
Yep.
And then to the pistols. So the first one to get shot was Clyde. He got shot in the head. First shot, boom, done. And they say that they heard Bonnie screaming when Clyde got shot. Not because she was about to get shot. It was when Clyde got shot, she reacted to that. She started screaming over Clyde's death. She saw Clyde die.
Right.
So, and then they emptied all of their weapons. Every weapon they had, they emptied all their weapons into Bonnie and Clyde. And they killed them dead. So they say there was about 50 to 100 rounds that were fired at and hitting Bonnie and Clyde.
I mean, if you look at the pictures of that vehicle, man, there's bullet holes everywhere.
Bullet holes everywhere, including their bodies. They had head shots, body shots. They were totally destroyed. They saved the car. They saved pictures, and they left the bodies in the car to take pictures just the way they were too.
Yeah.
So Will, Bonnie Parker, without a doubt, was a gun-toting, badass, take no prisoners. Although they did take prisoners.
Oh yeah.
And some of them they actually set free, and they gave money to get back home with.
Right. So they did some good,
Yeah, and the last prisoner that they took, that they set free, was a sheriff, and they took him over to state lines, and they gave him a new shirt, and they gave him money to get home with. And Bonnie's only request was that he tell everyone she wasn't a cigar-smoking woman.
Right.
She just wanted everybody to know that she didn't smoke cigars, that she just posed with the cigar.
Right.
I don't know what to make out of that.
I don't either.
So that's our Bonnie and Clyde show, folks. And what do we always tell everybody, Will?
Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, because you don't want to miss another episode.
Don't miss any of the episodes.
Nope.
And listen, you can always email us at connectedwithlarry@gmail.com. Will knows how to put it across the screen. It's connectedwithlarry@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And
And if you want to talk to us about some information or you got some ideas, you can always call us too. 941-244-9323.
we have another show coming up about the Witness Protection Program. You're not going to want to miss it. It's very exciting. A lot of facts that you're going to want to know about and hear. So
That should be awesome.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that one. And of course, we're always going to have our fun facts about American gangsters.
Mhm.
I want to thank everybody for watching our shows.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And
We're fixing to be on Patreon.
yes, we are.
We're getting that situated.
We're going to have some great gifts for everyone. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have some T-shirts and some hats maybe, and
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff we're going to give away.
Mhm.
And so we want to thank everyone for subscribing. It's important to us, and we really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So thank you for all that. And Willie, what do we tell them again? Don't forget to do what?
Elbow drop that like.
Elbow drop that damn thing, Willie.
Right.
And then what?
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
And honestly, for me, I'm going to add share. Because if you guys are sharing the video, you know, more people can subscribe. So, and don't forget to turn on your notifications because, again, like he just said, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we do. All right, and don't forget, you stay right here with us if you want to be connected.
Lots of people made money before me, and lots of people came after me, but I was the only one who introduced organized crime into the world of the penny stock market, and we owned it.